Hello everybody, welcome back to the shop. I've been around doing random stuff. Kind of haven't really done much, mostly because I've been waiting on materials that never showed up, and then when they did, well, then when they were supposed to ship, they never did, and then I just finally said, screw it, figured out a different way of doing stuff, and canceled the material order. But anyways, I'm still alive. I'm not running around to any events or anything, unfortunately, but I'm making progress slowly but surely. You're gonna have to deal with the iPhone video just because I don't feel like breaking out the computer and everything, because this won't be a very long update. But it's an update. F14, been doing body work, spraying primer, doing more body work. You can see I got a bunch of the imperfections filled in and sanded down, and then some primer sprayed back over it. I still got a lot left to do, as you can see. I've decided this fuselage I'm not going to worry about getting perfect. Unfortunately, due to the fact that it just wasn't seamed very well and they weren't level. When you sit there and start sanding on to get rid of the seam line, you end up sanding a lot of the, well, pretty much all the detail off in that area. So I'm just gonna get it looking presentable and be done with it. I'm not gonna go through a whole lot of time making this thing perfect. I'll do that with the next one. Learning procedure right here. Learned a lot off of just this one fuselage on what not to do on the next one. Like, don't put so much carbon toe when you're seaming the thing. Three pieces of 12K carbon toe on the top and 3 on the bottom, and then seam it together. It's just too much. You end up putting a really hard edge there that's really difficult to sand out. So the next one I'll probably do 2 and 1, or maybe 2 and 2 or something like that, or whatever. So same thing here on the wing. Just doing body work. You notice a little silver piece here. Leading edge slats, I molded those. I did the mold last week, and then this past weekend I did the mold for that. Turned out pretty good. That's what I was waiting on materials for. That never showed up, and then I just said screw it and did it the old-fashioned way. It actually turned out really good. I'm quite happy with the flight metal. You can see the detail, if I can get rid of the shine, but the detail turned out pretty good. My phone's not going to cooperate with getting the detail, but it's there. You can see it. They do function. See, it pulls in. This one they over center, the linkages do. So you can't push once they're down without taking them out of over center. They don't retract in there. So you could technically have the servo just completely come unhooked from the linkage, the torque tube setup when they're extended, and they would stay that way. But see, they do droop down a little bit and they come forward. I'm gonna redo the torque tube linkages just a little bit. The one down here actually hits the top of the wing skin, and that's why I can't get any more deflection. So I'm gonna drop the ball link connection point, probably about 1/4 of an inch, and then put lightning holes in the shear web that runs down through here. That way I can get more deflection out of this. I would like to get this to drop another 1/2 an inch. Right now it does exactly 1/2 an inch of forward movement and 1/4 inch of drop. I'd like to get an inch of forward movement and about 3/8 to 1/2 an inch of drop, which I should be able to get if I can get another 1/2 inch of forward movement. But the slats for the prototype are really good. They're actually better than, they actually turned out really good. All my concerns about the slider rails not being in alignment and the thing not coming out very smoothly ended up just being unnecessary worries, because the thing is perfect. So all that time on CAD and with that first concrete of a wing panel turned out really well. Spoilers are all done. These are really the wings are the only, this is the only issue with the wings, is actually the flat pinch standoff. You see this one's perfect, but the one right here is actually too far outboard. This wing's pretty close. The other wing, they're really far off. Unfortunately, that's what you get when you draw all the details on one wing one day and then you do it all on the next. The next day, you kind of get some inconsistencies when stuff's done by hand. But no big deal on this one. I'll make it work, and then the next ones I'll actually adjust the rear spar positions to get these all in exactly where they go. So, but for now, the wings are 90% done. I gotta order the hardware to get all the slats in there for good, put these little filler pieces in place, and do the flap linkages and the control horns, and paint this thing. And the wing panels are done. I've got all the servos except for I've got a servo I can use for the slat that I think will work. So, but basically, wing construction's done. There you can see the G10 hatches I cut out that are just about a perfect fit. So, wing panels done almost. So I got all the hardware on order for that. It'll be here hopefully by the end of the week. So I'll do finish that up. Canopy frames. I always was disappointed with the first one mold that I did. Remolded it. See, there's a whole lot of carbon toe down there in the corners. There's some Airex back there in the back. The reason why I got the Airex back here, it's just on this back bulkhead in here, and I mean, you can see how really strong that is. The reason why this is there is because I'm going to figure out a way of doing the hinges properly to where it'll actually lift them back at the same time. So this whole back bulkhead portion may end up getting trimmed a good bit, and then a new bulkhead being made to go in further a little bit. That way this could go slide, kind of go up and back over that before it starts to lift up. That way you can actually have one servo or air linkage or air cylinder or whatever do the unlocking and the opening all in one fluid motion, instead of having two little pins here with two air cylinders that undo it and then one thing opens it. So that's what I'm thinking. Too many ideas and not enough brain power for people to do them. Pancakes still there where they are. There's horizontal stabs, vertical stabs, and rudders are in there. Waiting on landing gear so I can finish doing that, start doing plugs and all that stuff for those. So I've just been kind of doing piddly stuff here and there, and that's really the only progress I've done. I fixed my air conditioner again. But anyway, that's, yeah, pretty much the F14 in a nutshell over there. That's the pancakes in a nutshell. I'm helping a buddy mold the nacelles for a 80-inch Piaggio, so probably doing that here in another week or so, maybe 2 or 3, I don't know. We'll see whenever he gets the plugs done. But that's kind of a cool project. And then I got this stack of stuff as the video camera just goes crazy. This is the bulkheads for the fuselage for a quarter scale TA-152 H1 or HO or H or C or whatever you want to do. It's Dave Anderson plans, fifth scale plans that have been enlarged 125%. So it goes from like 112-inch wingspan to about 142-inch wingspan. And the fuselage for this thing is, if believe it or not, it's longer than the F-14 fuselage. If you have the rudder tailpost, vertical fin tailpost or whatever on the edge of my table, the firewall gets to the other side, and then the cowling hangs off, the spinner hangs off, and the rudder hangs off either side. Fuselage is about 102, about 102 inches longer, so 110, somewhere around there. It's another project I'm going to be doing this winter. I've just been kind of piddling around with that, doing little nitpicking stuff as I can, as I have materials. You can see that there, that's the plan for the horizontal stab. And and here we have the horizontal stab. See, the horizontal stab for that airplane is basically the same span as the F-14 wing panel. This is pretty much done, other than putting the leading edge material on it, shaping it, and making up the G10 hinge standoffs and the hinge gap seals for it. But this will be a 3-piece stab, and this will be the center part will get molded into the fuselage. So, which brings me to my next thing. I've got 2 guys right now who are interested in fiberglass fuselages for that TA-152. If you don't know what a TA-152 is, it's basically a Focke-Wulf 190 with really long wings and a longer nose and a V12 engine, I think, kind of like the FW-190Ds, the Doras. So it's really a cool airplane. It's a high altitude fighter. I think it was the, I don't know, it had some huge wings. It was like, I don't know, it was big. We'll just put it that way. Quarter scale is 140 inches, so you do the math. It's a big airplane. Anyways, like I said, I got 2 guys interested in doing fiberglass fuselages for that. I'm wanting to do one for sure, because I think I can get a fiberglass fuselage down to about 4 pounds, maybe 5, using Airex core for a lot of it, and that'll help get rid of a lot of internal structure. So that's basically 4 fiberglass fuselages, because one guy wants 2. So 1 for me, 2 for him, and 1 for the other guy. If anybody wants to get in on this action, I'm wanting to start that project this winter, which means the F-14 is going to kind of go on a little bit of a back hold, and it won't get started until after the pancakes are done, which hopefully the pancakes will be done by the end of the summer. So first of all, on the TA-152, pricing for that, fiberglass fuselage, fiberglass cowling, fiberglass gun hood, horizontal stabilizer ribs, because it's a 3-piece stab and I've got those drawn up already in CAD, and a clear canopy. It's $1,000 plus shipping. Yeah, I know, it's $1,000 for just basically a fiberglass parts short kit. It's a big chunk of change, but I mean, you're talking about a big airplane. I mean, you're talking about a 10-foot long fuselage. I mean, something this size, and it's 12 inches in diameter at the cowling, and then the biggest part of the fuselage is like 14 by 17 or something like that. It's a big airplane. For another $250, I can include laser cut wing ribs and the plans. The plans are just my cost. I'm not buying them or anything. I'm just going to order the full set in large from the same guy I got, so you get exactly what I want. Wing ribs are all laser cut, 3/16 plywood with 3/16 balsa with 1/8 inch plywood, birch ply, aircraft plywood, not light ply. Doublers for a lot of the parts. All drawn in CAD, all laser cut, so everything will be really nice and hunky-dory. So $1,000 fiberglass short kit, $1,250 fiberglass short kit, wing ribs, plans, and whatnot. So if you want to get in on the action, let me know beforehand, because I'd like to, like I said, I want to do that this fall in the winter. I'd like to have that mold and the fuselage and everything. I'd like to have those going out by the 1st of February of next year. So it'd be a quick and easy, all the panel line detail, all the rivet detail, all the screws, all the hatches, all the detail that I can put on the fuselage will be on the molds, as I almost knock stuff off the table. But that's the TA-152. That's the next big project after that's done, and then this is done. Another thing I've been kind of tinkering and debating on doing is I've been thinking about starting a Kickstarter type thing. Actually starting something on Kickstarter about basically going from plug construction all the way to a flying model, kind of like the Dave Platt Black Art DVDs and all that stuff. If I do Kickstarter, I was thinking about like $100 for the set of DVDs, and it's however many DVDs it ends up being, which probably at least, I don't know, 4 or 5, I would think. Haven't really done any of this stuff before, so if anybody has ideas that's done production type whatever stuff, it'd be awesome to hear from you guys. But if anybody's interested in doing DVDs like that, which will be very in-depth as far as why I'm doing the stuff I am, how I'm doing it, watching me actually build the stuff in real time. I'm sure a lot of it will have to be kind of time-lapse, because I just can't sit there and keep doing videos real time. I mean, it'd be like 50 hours of, hey look, he's a plane swapping epoxy around. But anyway, I'd like to do as much of it in real time as I can, as far as how you do stuff and kind of do it very in depth like Bob does. Unfortunately, the only way I'm going to do that is if I get enough people on Kickstarter to either, or before Kickstarter to even say, hey, yeah, I'd be interested in buying something like that. And if there aren't enough people to do it, it's going to be on the TA-152 project, because that'll be kind of more in depth with what the average person would do, because it's going to be a built up wings and tail, fiberglass, fuselage, cowling, all that stuff. And it'll actually show a more cost effective way of doing it instead of an all composite, because yeah, I mean, if you can lay up a fiberglass fuselage mold, you can lay up a wing mold. It's really all the same. It's just, let's show you kind of how to intermingle the two together and start from plans to go to molds and whatnot. And it'll show the detailing process, equipment installation for big models, engine installations, because that'll probably have an inline twin in it, maybe even a Comb inline 3-cylinder 4-stroke, if the wife will let me spend the money, because it's about a $3,000 motor. But again, it's all dependent on if you guys would be interested in buying something like that, or kickstarting it for like $100 a person for a full set of DVDs or whatever. If you're interested, leave some comments, guys. I mean, I don't post a whole lot of videos, and mostly because I work so dang fast that by the time I could just do it and make the video and explain it and get it done, I've already done it, and I haven't even got the video camera out. So, but I'd really like to do the TA-152 thing with the DVDs and the Kickstarter stuff. Just because, I mean, I've seen some of those other videos from like Dave Platt and whatnot, and they're really in depth, but there's a lot of questions that are left, and all of my videos, if I do them, will end up with links to where you can get everything to do it, as far as composite suppliers, Airex suppliers, and the reason why you choose the thicknesses you do, my experiences from using this stuff for a good bit on this project and a couple other little ones. I mean, just a lot of stuff in general, as far as that you don't really see behind the scenes on stuff like servo linkage geometries and all that good stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna shut up rambling about random crap. But if you're interested in the TA-152, send me a picture or send me a message or whatever. No deposits yet. When I get closer to doing it, then we'll start talking money. If you want the Kickstarter DVDs showing how to go from paper to a flying semi-composite, all-composite model, send me something on YouTube. Either a message or a comment or whatever. So, but F-14, I'm getting there slowly. Hopefully, on the F-14 side of things, my composite or my 3D printer will show up. It's been ordered for 5 weeks. It was supposed to ship last week. I never got shipping confirmation. I was expecting shipping confirmation yesterday. Didn't show up. I'm expecting it today. Haven't heard anything yet. Hopefully it will arrive, or at least ship this week. That way I can start getting stuff ready, because I'm going to print off the landing gear for this, all the cockpit, everything on for this thing, to at least get a good mock-up sitting on landing gear. Is going to be 3D printed landing gear. A lot of the hinge and the actuation stuff back here for the speed brakes, everything that basically I need big bucks for, I'm gonna just 3D print. Now I'm gonna kind of play around with doing some fake turbofans and stuff too, kind of like what the Maibo A10s do. I'm gonna try this thing too. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up. I've been talking too much. I said this is gonna be short. Here it is, almost 20 minutes, and I'm still rambling on about whatever. So, comments on the 152 or the Kickstarter DVDs, or just to say, hey, you suck and make more videos. Anyways, y'all have a good one. We'll talk to y'all later. See ya.